Planning for pedagogical continuity goes beyond ensuring institutional and curriculum coordination. Teachers and curriculum developers need to take into account the differences within any group of children in their family circumstances, prior experiences and abilities. Accordingly, teachers need to be supported to understand and work with children as unique individuals. The leaders at Lobethal Primary School and Lobethal Kindergarten view transition into school as a joint responsibility. Over the last few years, they've developed a comprehensive and cyclic approach to this process. Kindy Connect, bridging the gap between kindy and school, now guides their planning to support children and families through the long-term process of transitioning into school.
The introduction of the Early Years Learning Framework and Australian curriculum provided an opportunity to reflect on existing transition processes and develop understandings of curriculum and learning environments in each setting.
Staff identified cross-site integration, relationships, information sharing, analysis of the whole child, and setting up for success as being supportive elements of the transition at Lobethal.
So for one child in particular, having a talk to kindergarten staff was really important because it allowed me to find out more information about him and his mother, who had huge anxieties about him coming to school. It allowed me to find about his interest in trains, and this allowed me to differentiate the transition process, to value his uniqueness and give him a sense of belonging when he came to school.
Setting up for success includes aspects such as enabling the child's voice to be heard through conversation with them about the process, considering the impact of transition on the whole family, responding to the children's needs, for example, flexible transition processes. With a focus on positioning the child and the family at the centre of transition, staff used case studies of selected individual children and families to inform changes and improvements to their practice and to the learning environments and routines in each setting.
What did you do at school on your first day?
I don't know. Begotten.
Did you do some writing?
I did some drawing.
Some drawing? What did you draw? Trains, of course you did.
Armed with this knowledge, I checked in every day with the family and the child as when they came to school. I changed my plan slightly and set up a trains activity which lessened the separation for this child and his family. Mum felt much easier because she see he was engaged and happy for coming to school, and this lessened any hesitations that they had.
As part of the review process, staff interviewed parents and 4-year-old children in the kindergarten environment, then re-interviewed them when they'd settled into school. In addition, video observations were made of focus children in the kindergarten environment.
Teachers from the school and kindergarten met several times to view and analyse interviews and observations using the Reflect, Respect, Relate Involvement and Wellbeing scales.
So in line with our strategy of setting up for success, this information allows me to differentiate the transition processes for families, and it also gives me opportunities to change my learning environment and the processes I use in there to suit the children that are in my care. For instance, this term I've had a boy majority in my class, so I've moved out lots of tables, moved out lots of chairs and provided lots of opportunities for kinesthetic learning that suits their style.
The transition experience at Lobethal is clearly a priority for both leaders. This is evident in their provision of time and resourcing for educators to meet regularly and to work in a range of ways to ensure that movement from one setting to another is a supported and positive experience for children and families.
This in-depth process resulted in enormous benefits to the quality of information exchanged, to understandings of children, and to the accommodations the reception teacher was able to make to ensure that children and families experienced a smooth and effective transition into school.
The insights gained during their review have led to agreed modifications to transition processes. There is now a greater opportunity for children and family input. As a result, the impact of transition on the whole family and the implications for educator practice are important considerations.
I know that when we differentiate transition processes, even in very small ways, we can make a huge difference for the outcomes of children and families.
Key questions for consideration from this example are: how are children and families positioned in our transition processes? And what impact does this have on our practice?